Hello everyone, this is Taruna Kanani, a CPA and a certified tax coach at KB Tax Divisor CPAs. During this epidemic time, certain essential business are not closing down. So businesses such as pharmacy stores, a grocery store, healthcare provider, they do remain open. And to keep their business open for public, they need an employee. And if you think from employees' perspective, it is very difficult. It is very hard for them to function during this corona spread. And you might think that I want to reward them. I want to reward them for their loyalty, for their hard work. And what will you do? Probably you might give them a gift, bonus, or overtime. Yes, you can. However, as a certified tax coach, I always look for the most tax effective way to do a particular thing. If you give them a gift, bonus, or overtime, what happens? So let's evaluate this. In general, any payment from an employer to an employee, regardless of the intent of an employer in making this payment, it is taxed to employee as compensation. So now, if you are wondering how to genuinely reward your employees, I have a wonderful idea. What you can do is you can offer a tax favored financial assistance. Yes, which is called a qualified disaster relief payment per Section 139. So, now what is Section 139? I'll explain it to you. Before I go into much detail, let's see when it got added. It was added in 2002 after September 11 attack in 2001. This Section 139 applies to federally declared disaster. And guess what? COVID 19 was designated as disaster under Stafford Act on March 13, 2020. Per Section 139, the payments are tax free to the employees. Yes, you heard it right. It is tax free in hands of employees. At the same time, it's fully deductible to employee. Do you see the beauty of this provision? It is very important and it's just perfect to use this in crisis such as COVID-19. So, under Section 139, there are certain expenses that can be covered and certain expenses are excluded. So, for example, you can pay your employees for expenses such as unreimbursed medical expenses like your co-payment, your co-insurance, or like a minimum deductible, childcare expenses, telecommunication expenses, so many. However, you cannot include any payment that could be in the event of employee using sick leave, FMLA leave, or any expenses that is not covered, sorry, any expenses that is covered by insurance, or if it intends to replace the lost income. It all depends on your particular circumstances and it differs case by case. There are a few more things to consider about Section 139. If you think from employees' perspective, now this is really, really important that there is no requirement as to minimum service or employment period. So any employee, even if you're employed for 1 day, your employer can still utilize Section 139 to make a tax-free payment to their employee. Another thing to be noted here is that from employer's perspective, there is no particular documentation is requirement. There is no formal plan is needed. However, as tax professional, I always advise my client to document as much as possible. So, if you are planning to implement Section 139 payment, it will be wise for an employers to document the implementation. One more thing I would like to caution, or one more thing I would like to bring out here is that this is not a commonly used tax strategy. Since we are a certified tax coach and we go through an extensive study, extensive research, we are able to find these kind of beneficial tax strategies to benefit our client. Lastly, the intention of Section 139 is not to provide any additional tax relief directly to employers, but it is helpful to employers. How? by allowing employers to assist employees in their time of need with these tax free payments. The hope is that the physical health and financial well being of an organization can be maintained. I would also like to point out that Section 139 has never ever been utilized for a national pandemic. As a result, there is some guesswork involved in identifying the types of allowable expenses. So, I will suggest if you are thinking to implement this Section 139, probably you want to consult a qualified tax professional to develop a plan. If you have any other questions or if you would like to get more information about Section 139 implementation, please feel free to send us an email at admin@kbtaxdevices.com or simply post a comment here and we will address it as soon as possible. Till then, stay inside, stay healthy. We are in this together and let's get back to business as usual. Bye for now.